Hello and welcome to the first episode of College Collective, brought to you by Jibber Jabber. My name is Ibrahim.
And my name is Hassan, and the show is about university life, problems, and just us sharing our general advice.
This week we wanted to focus on some intrinsic qualities that we believe students should have. You know, the way you go about your university life, the things you do, and just the way you act, and how important that is in shaping your university success. Um, what are your thoughts on that, Hassan?
Yeah, the qualities we want to cover when it comes to being a university student. And Ibrahim mentioned this point before that most of these qualities, most good students have them, and a lot of the students have at least few of these qualities while they're making it out of high school. But in university, you have to enhance them. Basically, you need to have them down, and that's basically what will determine how your university life went, and if you loved it and if you had a lot of time and you got the grades and you had friends and everything, or if you basically were struggling with everything and you couldn't keep anything intact. These qualities we want to point them out, talk about them, so that our other calls we don't have to repeat them, because me and Ibrahim genuinely believe some of these qualities you just need them, and we are going to point them out many more times throughout our other episodes or calls. So I wanted to ask, what all qualities do you think are important for students to have, Ibrahim?
I think one of the biggest qualities, and I think a lot of people have heard this from their teachers or advisors, at least
Mhm.
once in their lives, and that's being proactive. And it's a really big term, but the way I see it is that in high school or in middle school or whatever, before university, you'd have your
Right.
teachers, and they're very, I mean, they're used to dealing with kids, and they're gonna be there. They're gonna spoon feed you. They're gonna be very like
Right.
nice to you, make the effort. And when you come to university, they start treating you like you're an adult. They don't really do that anymore. They leave it more towards you, and you really have to take that step and make that effort, whether it's emailing a professor about something, whether if you're confused, you got to go to the professor yourself. If you mess up your grades, for example, this is the biggest thing. In high school, whenever
Mhm.
if I had a bad grade or if a student had a bad grade, the teacher would
Right.
like hunt them down, and be like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? What's this? Not what's wrong with you, but what are you doing here? You're messing up here. You're
That's
messing
such a
up
nice
there."
school.
And like if I didn't submit a homework or something,
Right.
we'd have like till the end of the semester. Sometimes some teachers would be like, "It's fine, you can submit it
Wow.
now, whatever." So it was very nice there. And then when I came to university, I found out that it's totally different here.
No, completely.
You miss a deadline by 1 minute, it's done. You get a straight
Yeah.
fail, which sucks because you have internet issues, you have other issues. You miss the deadline, it's over. So you have to be proactive. You have to schedule the way you're gonna do your assignments. You have to make sure you're up to date with everything. And I think being proactive is part of that, because if you're active about the way you want to be in university, and you're active about how you want to go about a class, that's going to really help you be successful and get the grade that you want to get. You know.
Yeah, I honestly feel like you mixed quite a few points in there.
That is true.
I do feel like you mentioned more of being organized
Yeah.
than of being proactive, but you had certain parts of proactive. So I'll get to proactive first, I guess.
Mhm.
In my definition, when I think of proactive, I think of the student that's yeah, he's doing well in class, but then you'd see him at the office hours, or you'd
Mhm.
find him helping the professor, or you'd see him working somewhere else, or helping at the university, or he's part of the student government. These people are proactive, and this is actually a good quality you should have. You should strive to be one of these people, as it will help you overall, especially the people that are in the student government or things. You build connections that you don't know when it might help you later on, and they do come useful. And it's always good to be known in the campus and the university for good things. For good
Yeah.
things. For good things.
It could go
Yeah, I don't
both
know
ways
if.
with that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for good things, it's always good to be known. maybe no for a few other things. It's okay. So yeah, that's what I think of proactive. I think of someone that's outgoing, taking on extra tasks. You see them running around the campus 24/7. I know we have this one friend. They're a senior, but they're very, very, very proactive, and it's why
Mhm.
we're all friends with them, and it's why he or she is also friends with everyone else in the campus. And yeah, she landed good roles using that. She became the senator for engineering, and it's all because everyone trusts her, everyone knows her. So
Mhm.
she's obviously bound to get the votes. So being proactive is good.
Yeah.
Ibrahim kind of hinted on my favorite point, and I
Uh-huh.
think this is the one of the most important ones, and this is being organized. I mean, like Ibrahim said, if you want to get good grades and you before that, Ibrahim actually did mention that, oh, if you're behind by a minute, then like you lose all the marks. And you don't want to be that guy. And it's all about being organized. It's less to be proactive in that case. It's more about being organized. You need to know, okay, I have this task, this task, this task. I need to do this, this, this today, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, so being organized is very important. This is, I think, the main thing you learn in university because it's what separates a good student and not so good student. An organized student, you've probably seen it. You've 100%, I'm sure everyone's seen it. Even in school, actually, there are a lot of kids that would have this, and you'd see them. They'd have like parties, and they'd have friends, and they'd have their family life, and they'd also be getting perfect grades, and the teachers love them, and you'd be like, wow. And the main thing
Mhm.
is they were organized. They have time, they cut it down, and they stick to their tasks, and so they cover everything most very efficiently, basically across the day, and that's what allows them to do so much. So yeah,
I think one
that's
thing with organized, like organized is a big one, and something that's
yeah.
it's very similar to being organized, but it's a little different, and that's being goal driven.
Hmm.
Because you mentioned the student that's partying, having fun, and getting good grades,
Right,
which is like the ideal situation, I guess.
exactly.
But I think a really big part of that is being goal driven, because you when you wake up in the morning, a, you set like a few goals you want to accomplish, whether that's finishing the assignment, that's going to a practice, maybe going out to a hangout, and you set these
Right.
goals for different things in life, trying to be well balanced. I think being well balanced is really crucial, and I
Right.
mean being goal driven is really important and crucial towards being well balanced. My bad, I'm mixing that up. um,
It's
but
okay, don't
yeah,
worry.
if you're setting goals and you're actively trying to accomplish them one by one, that's it's really gonna like set you far. And setting goals is important. It's really iffy, because when you set your goals, you have to be more realistic. We learned something in school and in sports, and that's setting SMART goals, which
Right.
that are specific, achievable, they measurable, and you have a set amount of time. So you can look it up when it comes to setting SMART goals if you're watching this. But those goals really help you get focused and really help you know exactly what you need to do and when you need to get it done by. And that's something I try to live by, and I think that's gotten me to be a little more well balanced and successful in different fields. So that's really something
Right,
you should
yeah.
be working on when you're in
Yeah,
university.
there's
Yeah.
exactly what Ibrahim mentioned. It applies to almost anything. If you have these qualities, it's the same in the gym. It's the same when you work in an
Mhm.
office. It's about having, like you said, smart goals are very important. You need to be able to measure and know your own capacity.
Mhm.
Don't if you're one of the students that can sit down and read the full textbook in a day, then fine, whatever. If that's what you want, you can push it for 4 or 5 days and then do it on the last day. But 99% of people cannot do that, or it won't be the most effective way. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist. Just saying, I'm not a
Oh man, we're
scientist.
gonna hold you to that.
99. Anyways, so it's much better if you know, okay, yeah, I covered 2 chapters. After that, I'm tired. I can't.
Mhm.
Then break down your main objective into, well, how much you can do. And that's basically setting a smart goal. Basically, think about your goal and don't just set, okay, I'm going to make it to the moon tomorrow. Like, plan it out when you set the goal.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I wanted to move on to another topic, another point, which is confidence. What do you think about confidence?
I think it's really important, like all these qualities. But
Right,
I think the way I see confidence, especially in a classroom, is you're there to learn and you're there to gain something from there. And I think a lot of students, when it comes to confidence, they're not very confident in class, especially when it comes to when they're confused. Because you can ask the professor any question at any time, and you see
right.
a lot of students that are confused and they're not going to ask any question because they're like, if I ask this question, what are the other people going to think of me? They're going to think I'm dumb.
Yeah,
And then
been there, been there.
right after the class, they're going to come up to you and they're going to ask you the same, like something super, super basic. But
Right.
I think a lot of the smarter kids ask a lot more questions. And some of their questions aren't like really high, like they're not high level question. They're just a small basic question about something super easy to someone. But different people learn at different stages and retain information
Mhm.
at different levels. So knowing your capacity and being able to ask that question without being judged, that's a really important part, because you got to be smart enough to know how dumb you are at times, I think. So you got to be able to ask
That's
those questions. I think we learned that a lot in high school. Our teachers really forced us to ask questions, and that really goes far in university and beyond as well,
yeah,
you know.
right. No, exactly. And I mean, I think you covered everything there is to being confident in a classroom. But I also believe it's an important trait to have as a university student, as you will need it. You'll need to build it up for sure before you go out into the real world, before you go out looking for jobs. And if you're confident, again, it's very important to be confident alongside proactive. These things kind of go together. You can't be proactive, but you're like really shy and worried and you're insecure. So to be proactive, you have to be confident. So I feel like one derives the other as well, right?
Yeah.
So being confident is very important if you want to go out there and get an internship while you're studying, or you want to go accomplish something that other students have. But you need to be confident in yourself, and that works with any part of your life.
Hmm.
Uh, then we have resourceful. What do you think about resourceful?
Hmm. It's a tough one.
See,
What do you what
I
do you
know
what do you
that.
mean by resourceful? How about that? I want to know what you're
Okay,
thinking about that one. Yeah.
okay. See, when I think of resourceful, I think of those students that you can tell they're not like Einstein or something. They're not geniuses. They're normal. They're just good students, just like
Hmm.
anyone else. But the difference is when you give them a kind of tough task, they're resourceful. They'll figure it out. They'll either ask the professor, they'll find a friend outside university, they'll check the internet and research for hours on end, but they're resourceful. They'll find a way and they'll get it done,
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about the illegal ways. Don't go steal a book, but like they know how to use the resources and they know how to get things done. That's a very important quality, if you ask me. It's how you learn. If you're not resourceful, because I know students that are good at studying and they could learn. It's just they give up a little too early. They aren't resourceful. They don't think enough. They get a problem, they don't know how to fix it. They can't contact their professor. They don't have any friend that could help their number. So then they don't know what to do. They're like out of resources. Should
Hmm.
Again, if you're proactive, you'll have the resources, and you need to be resourceful. You need to go look for them and figure out, okay, yeah, I can help this person, and later on he can help me. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think
In
I think being proactive
Go
ties
for it.
into that, because I think if I'm going to try to define being proactive from at least the way I see it is taking taking how do I say this? Taking responsibility and
Right.
taking control of your life. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So being
Yeah. Yeah.
resourceful, you
That's a
said
good.
you said you don't you get stuck somewhere and you just give up. I think if you're being proactive, you're gonna take that extra step. You're gonna find the professor, maybe find an older student, or maybe find a YouTube video like we always do for
Right.
ourselves. You're gonna
Exactly.
do something about it, and that's I think proactivity and resourcefulness is I think they tie in together like a lot of these qualities. But yeah, that's
Right.
what I think.
Let's get to Ibrahim's favorite quality that we had written down that we want to discuss,
Oh no.
and that is competitiveness. Ibrahim's
I think
for people that don't know, he's a sportsman. He
okay,
plays
man.
as many sports as he can in the university. So he loves competitiveness. This is where he
Come
shines.
on, man. Don't do me like that,
I
bro.
put you on the spot, bro. I put you on the spot.
Bro, this is too much. But yeah, I think I learned a lot of competitiveness through sports, and I think it's really healthy in a classroom. But there's a really
Right.
fine line with competitiveness because you can't be messing around your whole life just to try to get a good grade. You can't throw everything off
That's
just to do better than someone. But
yeah,
I see it in
exactly.
our classes. You have like the top 4 or 5 students in our class, and they're always trying to work harder to try to get a better grade, and they're always comparing their grades afterwards. And I think it's healthy
Yeah.
because it really gets you motivated. It gets you to do something. Because when you have competition, I think most people can use that positively and help it make them better. But again, some people don't really see it that way. Some people might not like it.
Right.
It's a quality I see. What do you think? Do you think it's good or bad to be competitive?
No, as you said, like I mean, our group of friends we're like that. Most of the class might call the average for a test a C, but we'll be one of us will be sad because we got a B minus because the other half got a B plus. You know,
Definitely. Yeah.
so like Ibrahim said, competitiveness is very important. It pushes each other to work harder, and then also if you're good group of friends, then one can see when someone's falling behind somehow randomly, he's not getting the grades he usually does.
Hmm.
Then you message them and you talk to them and you try to figure out. I think that's also actually an important quality I just thought of, and it's about making the right friends.
Yeah,
Having
definitely.
good friends in university or anywhere else at your work or anywhere else is very very helpful. And having friends that keep you motivated and check up on you or have similar interests helps out a lot.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean that's what makes university fun as well, and the classes. If same friends weren't in the class, I'm pretty sure I'd be really bored out of my mind for a lot of them.
I swear.
Anything you have to say about friends?
No, I really think friends are really, really important. I think the circle of friends you have really shapes how you're gonna end up being. Your
That's
friends can
true.
either be negative or positive. They can either impact you negatively or positively. So you have to
That's
be
true.
really, really careful when you pick your friends. There's I don't know, whatever qualities they have really rub off on you. I think our friends are pretty well balanced and they're pretty studious as well. I said we're
Right,
competitive, so because we're competitive, because of that, that really rubbed off on you and me as well. Because
right,
we're
right.
also spending a few hours back at university to study as well.
Exactly.
They're not just studious. They're not nerds. Nothing wrong with being a
Right,
nerd, by
right.
the way. I'm just saying,
Yeah, nothing at
but
all.
but they're also into playing FIFA, sports, table tennis, stuff like that, eating out and stuff. So when you find someone similar to you like that, it's really, really, really beneficial. I think when I moved to Dubai, that was the biggest thing I was scared about because I didn't know the people over here. So
Right.
the biggest thing I prayed for when I came here was, I really pray that I get good friends, friends that are like me and friends that can help me, benefit me, and I can benefit them in some way. And yeah, I think friendship's super important.
That's really good. Touching story, honestly.
I don't want to go
Uh,
too much into me, but yeah,
I just want to discuss one last thing before we end this call. I think we've covered most of it. How do you build these qualities? Let's say you're leaving school, you're going to go to university, you're going to build up these qualities. I'll go on say what I think, and then we'll see what
sure. That's a
Ibrahim
really
thinks.
good question, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
I think it's about again being proactive, but like if you really want to build up these qualities, you start earlier, maybe in high school or even right after high school, you start a course or something. You start having that mindset. To me, I remember I was not as focused in school as I was or am in university. And that's just the motivation. I built up motivation that, okay, I did not do amazing in school, but from now on, I do not accept these kind of grades for myself. I have a higher standard. And so that motivated me to build up these qualities. And so I think motivation is one of the most important things, because if you're motivated, you'll go find an internship, or you'll help your dad with work, or you'll find a way. And doing all these things do end up improving you,
Mm-hmm.
and building up these qualities. What do you think, Abraham?
Um, yeah, I
Did
think
I take
I just
everything? I
no,
hope I
no,
didn't take everything.
no, I don't think you did. This is a really big one.
Okay, thank God.
But I know we just talked about picking the right friends. I think that's
Yeah,
also really big on building these qualities.
that's true.
Just want to say, in Islam, for example, it's really stressed about
Right.
picking righteous friends, picking good friends, because your friends really do rub off on you. And if you're picking friends that have these qualities, you can, like, for example, when you come to university as a freshman, you can see right off from orientation which students are going to be the partiers, which students are going to be a little more studious, which ones you relate to. I know I really saw
Right,
that on our orientation, and I think I've
right,
picked my friends based on that. Sometimes you really want to have that friend that's into partying and stuff or messing around, but I think you have to be really smart. Again, we said
right.
you have to be proactive, like we said, so you have to really be careful, and you have to be careful who you pick. That's one way. And another thing I think is, you might not have these qualities, but a saying is, fake it till you make it. So,
Yeah,
keep trying. I think it only
uh-huh.
takes about 30, 40 days to build a habit if you keep doing it, psychologically proven or
I
something.
think it was
Don't quote me on
55.
that.
It
I don't
was
know the right
55.
date. Somewhere
It was
30 to
like,
55.
it was 55.
But either way, fake it till you make it. Pick
Right.
the right friends, and eventually, if not now, maybe in a year, maybe in 55 days, maybe in 2 years, you never know. Everyone's different, but you will build those qualities slowly and slowly, and it's really going to help you later on, especially in your work life.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think we've covered most of it.
Uh-huh.
So, like we said, to be a good university student, you should be proactive, organized, goal-driven. There was,
A
oh
little
yeah,
bit
picking that
competitive, just a little bit, not too much.
a touch of
Touch
competitiveness.
a
Uh,
tad.
yeah, exactly. You should be confident, resourceful, and yeah, pick the right friends as
Pick
well.
the right
That
friends.
actually, that's a good important quality as well.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that being said, I think all of these are very important qualities, and the more of them you have, the better you'll be able to do, and the more fun you'll have in university, to be honest. And I mean, I know students are only good at one or two, and they do perfectly fine as well. So yeah, that's what we have to say about having the right qualities before joining university. That's all for this call, unless there's anything Ibrahim wants to add.
Nah, man, just if you don't have these qualities, you can work on them. Everybody works at their own pace, and if you don't have them, you'll learn them. You'll make the right friends. Even if you make the wrong friends, we talked a lot about making good friends. A lot of times you won't make the right friends. You'll have, friends that are maybe more toxic, maybe, or something. But whatever happens for a reason. Everyone's gonna teach you something or the other. So just be patient, and always work on
Stick.
trying to make a better version of yourself every day, and that's going to help.
That's
That's all I
true.
got to say.
Exactly.
But
Just keep your head up and keep moving. That's
straight
it.
up,
Keep your head up and keep moving.
that's
All
it.
right, then. I think
Life
this
advice
thing,
by Hassan, this episode, that's the one to keep.
maybe we'll cut it out.
Nah,
So
no way. That's a nice one there.
I think
Yeah,
that's
man.
it. College Collective, episode 2. Drop down in the comments if you have any other qualities that you think that are very important, or something that we missed out on that we
Hmm.
totally should have mentioned. And
Definitely.
maybe we might shout it out or mention it next time when we see the comment. We're like, oh yeah, that's a missed opportunity. I mean,
Yeah,
like the
man.
video,
Thank
I
you.
guess. Why
Yeah.
not?
Like,
Like
subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we really look forward to
always.
seeing you next week. Uh, all right, man. This
Take
is
care,
Hassan and
guys.
Ibrahim signing off. Take care.